Hey guys, how's it going? In this video I'm going to talk some tips and tricks about reading light novels. I've been reading light novels for some time now and I've amassed quite a collection. So I thought I'd give some things that I didn't really know when starting, and it might help you. First up is the variety of light novels. I think when most people think of light novels, they instantly think of isekai, and I can definitely see why. A lot of the very popular light novels are isekai, such as Overlord, Re:Zero, Mushoku Tensei, Konosuba, Reincarnated as a Slime, you name it. Not to mention, just about every single time a light novel gets brought up, they talk about those crazy long names, you know, the one that time I got reincarnated as a boat and then had to become a villainess because I'm super good at punching people and eating lots of food. You know the one. Your favourite. But what if I told you titles such as Apothecary Diaries, My Happy Marriage, Violet Evergarden, Spice and Wolf, Full Metal Panic, Baccano and Haruhi are all based off light novels, and that's just naming a handful. We could have titles that cover the space race, an alternative telling of World War II, while also just a normal series about a guy falling in love with a girl. Honestly, you'll find a lot of variation with light novels and a lot more than some people will give credit for, but I do feel that light novels are a bit more varied. Why is that? Well, light novels are basically just a buzzword used by Japan to try and sell a specific novel. If it's called a light novel by Japan, well, yeah, it's a light novel. If you are going to start reading light novels physically, be very aware. Light novels take up a lot of space. From volume 1s to series that just don't end after 30 volumes. It's very easy for light novels to very quickly take up a lot of space if you're running a few series at the same time. This is where digital series and subscriptions can come into play, and if I'm honest, I sure am a physical guy. I mean, this figure collection proves it. I'm also a huge collector of Switch games and some PlayStation games as well. So believe me, when it comes to things, I always want it physically. But with light novels, I have managed to discover the joy of digital product. This just means I can get everything stuck on a tablet, you can get everything on a Kindle, you can get everything on your phone. But with some services, you can also support the author and the industry. So how can you save a little bit of money? Well, let's talk about a few ways we can do so with Bookwalker and J-Novel Club. Bookwalker is an app owned by Kadokawa, and they often do what is called coin-back promotions, and these are very fun things because, well, for example, at this moment of recording, they have the Spring Anime one, so a bunch of manga and light novels currently that has an anime adaptation. They have 30% off plus 30% coin back. So that means you get your light novels for 30% cheaper plus 30% coin back, which can be used towards your next purchase. Save them up, get some free light novels. Quidzy. Now, J-Novel Club is a subscription-based service, and for a monthly sum, you can read the newest chapters and releases in their catalogue. Each month, they pick a handful of titles as catch-up series, giving you a bunch of titles and volumes to catch up with, which is perfect if you just want to binge read a series you may have overlooked before. Now, as of recording, J-Novel Club have just released a few new series, so they are all going to be available on their J-Novel Club subscription service. So now is a fantastic time to start checking out them series. One of the most important things when it comes to light novels is to develop your own taste. Honestly, I found it very easy to find my own taste, and the best way I did it was, well, I would just go to shops and look at something that caught my eye. That is the only reason I checked out titles such as So I'm a Spider, So What and Reincarnated as a Slime. I saw them on the shelf and I thought, those look stupid, I'll check them out. And over time, because I have read so many titles, I know what series I will like and what series I have no interest in reading. Sometimes all I need to do is just read the cover. Sometimes it requires a synopsis, but sometimes I can read the first chapter and just go, this is just not for me. Titles such as Classroom of the Elite and Mushoku Tensei, I read both of them and I can safely say they just aren't for me. At the end of the day, it's your time that you're going to waste reading stuff that you just have no interest in. So, be honest with yourself, discover new series, use your own personal judgment. Don't be afraid to be wrong as well. There's so many times I've checked out a series and just went, doesn't look very good. Oh, actually, this is actually quite good. And there's been some hidden gems that I have ended up reading that I just didn't think I would otherwise. But I give them a chance. I think people get too bogged down in what's popular and what isn't. And sometimes people will just go, oh, this is peak fiction. They will read that peak fiction series and then they will never touch another light novel again, thinking that they have read the best thing ever. I'm going to be honest, there are so many great titles that don't get any attention whatsoever. Use your gut, try new things, you will be rewarded. To put things further, a single volume of a light novel can take hours to read and will more than likely cover the equivalent of 3 episodes of an anime. So, if you take into consideration the 3 episode rule, then dropping a series after the first volume is absolutely viable. This one is for you anime fans because I get this so many times. The best place to start a light novel after watching the anime is no ifs, no buts, always start at volume 1. Yeah, I understand. I get reading content that you've already watched gets a little dreary, but honestly, it's worth it. A lot of anime series are adapted from the manga and overall skip quite a bit of content that was in the original light novel. The advantage is that you get to understand the author's strengths and weaknesses. You get to see from the start where the author was intending to go. There are so many anime that just skip off so many important things, or they just they mention them once in passing and it's not important. Then all of a sudden in the light novel it is important later on. Anime is great as a medium, but don't go in thinking you've read the entire thing by just watching a few episodes. Always start with volume 1. You will not be disappointed. A few years ago, one of the popular things to do in the manga community was to try out the Monogatari series. Monogatari had an absolutely fantastic set of light novels that were released as a bundle. They were released as a collector's box with all of the volumes in, and every single person I know who bought those bundles, they read a few volumes and burnt out. My next tip is pace yourself. This is where having a collection is great for me, because I find I can read 2 or 3 volumes of a specific series before needing a break, so I can very easily jump onto something else. For example, Ascendance of a Bookworm, I recently caught up and I read 3 volumes back to back, after which I was incredibly fatigued. Fortunately, I had Full Metal Panic to jump in straight afterwards, plus a few review copies of Volume 1s, plus Infinite Dendrogram, plus Bofuri. Are you getting the idea now? So personally, I have quite a lot of series to jump between, but maybe have 2 or 3 just to kind of give you that little bit of a break, because once you start getting that fatigue in and you drop a series or you put a series to one side, it will be a bit of a chore to get back. Monogatari, absolutely loved it. I've read it, the first few volumes, so many times. I always get stopped at certain points and then I never pick up the series again, to the point that it feels somewhat overwhelming. Those were just some of my tips and the things that I have learned over the years of reading light novels, but I leave it to you guys. What tips and tricks would you give new people or more experienced people on how to read more light novels and get more enjoyment out of light novels. And if you've got this far, check out this video here. There's a ton of fantastic light novels that you have probably missed waiting to be reviewed. See you over there. Goodbye.